When our politicians talk about strengthening our local economy out here in Iron County and Cedar City, they often talk about attracting these giant corporations or offering tax breaks and subsidies to bring in outside investment. But there is another tool that is already working that actually keeps wealth local. It builds social ties. It's called a cooperative. A cooperative, or a co-op as they're more often called, is a business that is owned and operated by the people who use it. Customers, workers, or producers. Grocery co-ops are another really common form where people band together to access high quality, affordable produce and also support the local farmers in their community. Then there are producer co-ops, and these are actually owned by the people who produce the goods or services. A lot of people don't know this, but currently, it's like 2/3 of agricultural products are actually marketed through cooperatives. A well-known example is Ocean Spray, which is owned and operated by cranberry farmers. And it's really popular for farmers because it actually prevents them from being taken advantage of by these gigantic corporate farm or grocery chains, forcing these small farmers to accept less for their products. Finally, and this is my personal favorite and the one that has the most transformative potential out here in Cedar City, worker cooperatives, where the employees own the business itself. In these types of small businesses, the workers share the profits, they vote on the leadership of the company, they have a direct stake in the success or failure of this business, far more than an employee at a traditional business. This can really transform a lot of the types of businesses that we see out here in Cedar City, like construction, like childcare, like home care for elderly and disabled people, like food service, and all these industries where there are people who work really hard but are generally underpaid. But when I first moved out to Cedar City, I was making $13 an hour. Meanwhile, this company was charging Medicare thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every month for each of our clients, and we had hundreds of clients. I remember this one day, the CEO of the company drives up from St. George to visit us and essentially check on her investment. And she pulls up in this pearl white Escalade and she steps out and she's wearing white fur coat. Meanwhile, me and a lot of my coworkers are trying to budget between groceries or paying rent. Anyways, that was a long time ago, and I have a much better job now working for the state of Utah with incarcerated youth. But I do know that a lot of people who do really important work out here are not being paid fair wages. So why are cooperatives good for local economies? First of all, they keep the wealth circulating locally. Because the ownership of these small businesses is local, the profits don't disappear to out-of-state investors like a lot of the fast food chains out here. Second, they create more stable businesses. Co-ops tend to prioritize long-term sustainability and success over short-term profits. That means fewer of these sudden closures and more resilience during economic downturns, so we don't lose half of our small businesses when something like the COVID-19 pandemic rages through our town. Third, and I think that this is the part that is most often overlooked, is that they build social capital. When people collectively own something and they are collectively responsible for something, they become more engaged. They take more pride in the work that they do, in the products that they produce, and their place in the community. And all of this together strengthens trust and cohesion in a community, and that is just as important as financial growth. And in a time where a lot of us feel really disconnected from the forces that are shaping our economic lives, this kind of shared ownership and shared responsibility could be exactly what Cedar City needs. My name is Thomas Loveheart, and I'm running for Utah House District 71 as a progressive independent against the Republican incumbent. Vote for me, and I promise I will work for you.